Yo boys, how's it going? Welcome back to Minecraft Hardcore Series 2. Now today I got a bit of a different Minecraft Hardcore video for you all. As some of you may know, I recently wrapped up my end round build, and I posted a video back in, I think, middle December now, showing it off. Now, there were a few comments on that video asking questions about what I did and how long it took, and so many different questions that I thought it would be a great idea to sit down and do like a little bit of a tour of the build. We'll go through, we'll look at the actual details of it, because the video like only really looks at tiny little aspects of it, and kind of like the camera just glides past some bits and then never actually looks at it in depth. Because I put 3.5 to 4 years into this. Like a 6-minute video is not really going to do it justice, I feel like. So it's a bit of a information dump, a bit of backstory. It's kind of like the behind the scenes on, you know, when you get your Lord of the Rings trilogy through the door and you watch all the trailers and the interviews. That's basically what this is. That's what I'm thinking of it like. But first off, if you haven't watched that video, please go check it out. It is one of the it's a video I am so proud of, and I put a lot of time in, 3.5 years amount of time. I'm so proud of it. So if you click the link that'll just pop up here, please go head out and watch it. I'll come back to this video afterwards. I would appreciate it. But yeah, let's jump into Minecraft and let's go look at this thing. Here we go. I mean, this is the first part, I guess, of the build, is stepping through this portal once it loads. And this is our portal room. It's very bright in here, actually. But this is our portal room. So, did the portal room a little bit like this, because obviously with all the sea stuff in the end, we kind of wanted to make it like a little bit of a blend of the two. So it's like the coral and the ocean is starting to come through the end portal. That's kind of the main reason for that. We step on through here. And here we are. Endhelm. God, I love this place. Sometimes I just come here and I sit on top. I got some lily pads up there and I just fish and I just look at it, because this place is absolutely nuts. Like, absolutely nuts. And for those who don't know, basically how we did this build was, I don't know if you can even see it from here. Ah, there it is. This TNT bomber, we literally sent it across the whole island. There's a little bit, there's a time lapse in the montage video that you can see it on, and we pretty much flattened the entire we could flatten the entire end island. I can't remember how many blocks we reduced it down to, but pretty much completely flat. And then we built this glass up, filled it in with water, and that kind of gave us the canvas. And since then, it's kind of just evolved over time into what it is now. So this is Enderwood Hamlet. This is, I mean, this is loosely based off of Whiterun from Skyrim. A lot of this build is basically Skyrim, is a Skyrim build. I'll put my hands up and say it's a Skyrim build. But this first building in here is a library. See, I can't remember. I forgot I did that. It's been a while since I've actually been in any of the buildings. Is there any stuff in these? No. Oh, shit. I'm breaking stuff. Dick and balls again. Classic. That's classic me. Classic scoop. Jesus Christ. Yeah, but it's like a cozy little library. We've got like some books all over the... Like, what the fuck is this? The Book of People Who Asked. Oh, is it an empty... God, I am a comedian. What a comedian. If you're reading this, you like Men, that's a good one. Cock and Nuts, that's my favorite edition. Better than Dick and Balls, some may say. I prefer that one. I don't know about... I prefer that one. What else we got over here? The B-movie transcript. Did I sit down and write the B-movie out? I clearly have too much time on my hands. This is why the build took 3.5 fucking years. It's because I was sat here, ran out the script for the B-movie. Oh, anyway, up to page 3. I'm too lazy for that. Oh, God. What's this? This next build? Oh, this is the pub. This is the worst one. I will put my hands up and say this is the worst build. Just because when I was building this, I plotted out this area. I think I did the courtyard first. And then I just started plotting out pieces of real estate. And I was like, well, I have this amount of space to put stuff in. I started with this one. Then I did these two, I think. And then I was like, shit, I don't have much space to do another one. I wanted another two. So this is a really tiny building. As you can see. It's got some it's got some outdoor seating. And look, this is some wow, look at this. Room with a view. What a view that is. What a view. You either look at the back of the pub, this fucked up looking tree, or the abyss. Next building here is, this is a store, I think. So these like shelves to put things onto. I realized I couldn't really put anything on them. Didn't really think about that. But yeah, it's like a little marketplace. A lot of my buildings, and for this area, it has to be said, they are nothing special in the middle. They're absolutely nothing special. In the interiors, there's nothing special. But from the outside, that looks fucking nice. This one, though, is a little bit different. This is a blacksmith's and an armorer. You have a little blacksmith's area. This is where I learned you can put campfires underwater and they don't go out. I thought they would do. So that's how I got started doing some of the smoke effects. God, the water looks... Cauldron water looks messed up. Oh, look, it's got little bubbles. That's cool. Never knew you could do that. What else have I got to show off in here? We've got this well, which, by the way, this lava well was the hardest thing I ever had to build. The amount of times I turned shit into obsidian is nuts. Like, I could not do it. I couldn't do it, dude. I really struggled with it. Because I had to dig so far down to be able to get the lava to a decent, like, surface level. I just struggled with it. But, like, it looks nice. I wish that wasn't, like, a waterlogged block. That's the only annoying thing with building underwater, is making sure blocks aren't, like, those waterlogged ones. But that's that one. Then this is... I've completely forgotten the name of it. Oh, my God. Breeze Home. That's it. Breeze Home from Skyrim in Whiterun. So this is the house you can buy in Skyrim in Whiterun. It's the house I always buy when I play the game. It's like the first thing I do is I steal and loot enough gold to be able to buy this house. A bed, a chest, a little bit of coral, and a little fire pit. This is fire, by the way, in case you haven't cottoned onto that yet. I imagine you will at some point, but the blue coral, things like this, with a light source underneath, that's like a fireplace. That's the only way I could think of doing fire. I mean, that is Enderwood Hamlet. Apart from this in the middle, now this is where we get into some of the lore, which I don't like. I never discussed really in this is more stream lore, I think, when I streamed it. But in there is actually a conduit. And the thinking behind having this in the middle of this village, there would be villagers living in here. I was going to put villagers in here. Do you know, I thought I don't need to add 23 grey hairs to my head. So let's just leave it for now. Maybe at some point in the future. But, of course, they need to be able to breathe underwater. So they would need a conduit. And I'm just thinking, like, in Skyrim, there's, like, cults and stuff. I feel like there's some weird shit where these villagers would worship this conduit. So they built this monument around it to protect it. And they come here, and this is where they pray. They come to the little altar here, and they pray every day. I was just thinking some weird, wacky shit that they would do. But that's basically what this is their life source to allow them to live in this realm. If I have to list the top 3 hardest things I've had to do in this mega build, this is definitely in the top 3. I can't build natural looking things. Like, I can do small scale, but that's just carbon copy of a regular Minecraft tree. But having to blow it up 500 times the size, not an easy task. Like, really hard. I think I actually stopped playing the game for like 2 weeks because I needed a break from building this tree, because it was so difficult for my brain to wrap my head around. Like, I just could not do it. I couldn't do it. But it's really cool, and I love it. It's got decorations here, and it's got all this coral. There's coral and just seagrass features throughout the whole thing. but it's got its... You can see its roots, like, slightly above the ground. Obviously, they would run deeper. I had an idea at one point to have them actually run down through the bottom of the island, but I thought that's a bit too overkilly. Some of it looks a bit... If you took a closer look... I mean, I think maybe for me, for my eyes, I can see where it looks a bit messed up. And, you know, where you can see these big blocks, that's because they have one of the bedrock things in them. That's another little secret. Yeah, there's one, like, I think there's one here. Yeah, that's what's in these, by the way, is the bedrock. The bedrock bits around the edge. The portals where you can go through to the extra end islands. They're all in the middle of these. I had to think up a cool design to, like, hide those. There's no real thought behind it. I just was like, let's just make a cool oceanic vibey thing. Oh, some of our squids. So we brought a bunch of squids to the end. And this guy is Inky. Little Inky. Don't bring mobs to the end. They don't like it. I tried bringing dolphins. I brought about 6 dolphins, I think, in total. And they've all drowned and killed them. So all throwing themselves off the edge. So that's something I have learned, is not to do that. Right, should we go around the right hook of this side now? And we come up to our little farm. Looks really cool. I do really like this. It houses some of my skeleton horses. To get rid of 6 was very nice, because they are cramped up on the side of my house at the moment. Yeah, a little farmhouse, because, you know, they need to supply the village. You know, how's the pub going to make its beer if it doesn't have wheat? Is that how you make beer? Is it wheat? I feel like it's wheat. Come upstairs, and there's a person's bedroom and a little bit of a workshop. Got your little balcony out here with a bench on. Can look out. Do you know, this person has quite a good view, actually. I will say that. I gave them a nice view. And I think this is just an attic space. I don't think... Yeah, there's just an attic space with a few barrels, and then... That's my equivalent of... That's the end's equivalent of cobwebs, is seagrass. So when you think about it, going by my logic, this is all cobwebs. So this place is pretty much abandoned. But yeah, I tried different crops in here, but like nothing really you can't really do many crops underwater. You can do pumpkins and melons, but I was like, let's just grow coral, you know. I don't know, like I was hoping I'd be able to plant at least something different. Onto the next part of the exterior here. Oh, one point I do want to add, and fuck you, Mojang, that is for you. I made these when the recipe was still the netherite ingots. I don't know when this video is fucking coming out, but I know they've just added a snapshot in where you can make it with not that. And I want to tell you, I want a refund. I want you to give me back what you stole from me, which is my netherite ingots. Do you know how many of these I made? I'll tell you. I'll tell you right now. I made 19 of these. That is 19 netherite ingots, which is about, what is it? That just under 80 ancient debris I had to find for these. And then, like, 2 months later, you're like, you know what? Fuck this. We're going to make it so it's well easy to get. Well, do you know what I say to you? Screw you. I want a refund, or I will be suing and taking legal action on you for the stress and time that I spent. Just wanted to make a quick calm point on that. That's all. Just if you could get back to me ASAP, that would be really helpful. Thank you. Moving on. This is our next part of the build, which is a couple of underwater volcanoes. We've got like a fiery, obsidian-y one, and the other is more of a cool, got a cool vibe to it. So you've got hot and cold basically next to each other. You don't take too close a look at it because you'll see all how I make it with all the signs and the campfires. You've got to like go back here and then it looks fine. The next thing I actually want to take a look at is this. This is our old Enderman farm from way back when we started this world. We killed the Ender Dragon for the first time back in 2020. There's still bookshelf. What the? Hold on, I want to check this out. I reckon some of my old shit is still over there. Is my endermite still in there? Oh my god, he is. That's crazy, dude. What the fuck? I mean, it looks like all I really left down here was just the bookshelves. Just left it here. The next thing I want to focus on is our wizard tower. It's a very cool design that I found, and I like tweaked it slightly because I wanted it to be a bit more end themed. But yeah, it's a really, really cool design I found, and with the little 2 towers as well. I wanted to have it so that I could have like little holes in the ground, but I just think it got a little bit too cramped up like that. Originally, I was just going to have the tower without these bits. Let's go look at the insides. I mean, there's nothing special inside these. They're literally just rooms with things in. Like a fireplace, a purpley carpet, a bench and a table and chairs. Like, who gives a fuck? This is a... Jesus, that's bloody bright. Look, can you see? Look at my face. Look at the way my camera changes when I look at it. It's so bright. Holy shit. Whoa! And then this room in here in the tower is like a little bit of a well, it's a potion brewing, crafting. It's basically like a little workshop room for whatever the wizard feels like doing. But yeah, these are, well, they have potions in them to say what's in them, but they're actually empty. Apart from this one, which is all where we keep all our Dragon's Breath. Hopefully one day Dragon's Breath will have an actual reason to exist. Yeah, I just got some in case it does, but we couldn't get any more. If it was something really important, we're fucked. Like, we won't be getting it. I do think this is probably my favorite structure on the outside of the walls. Obviously, this is the best thing here, like this thing, because it's nuts. But this is really cool. And then back here we have a forest, which, not gonna lie, this forest took forever to make. I basically, once I plotted these out, I was like, I have like a big area at the back here with, I'm not gonna put any structures here because you're not gonna come back here. But I can't just leave it blank. Like, I've got to follow through and make it, you know, have something there. So I just made it a little bit, I just made a forest basically at the back. But yeah, we come to the main part of this build. Fun fact, this tower was the first thing I built in this project once I had built all the glass up and flooded this. These 2 towers were the first things I built, and this bit. That's all I built at the start. I think you can see in the montage video that, like, it's empty apart from this bit here. So I mean, that was the idea, I think, always was to do a castle in the middle. And I was going to do my own kind of castle, like create my own, but I struggled with thinking up a structural sound idea. And that's when I came up with this stupid fucking idea. Don't know why, but I was like, hey, why don't we put Dragon's Reach in Minecraft? 1-for-1. Well, you know, 1-for-1 scale Dragon's Reach. What? That'll be fun, won't it? That'll be fun. That won't take 6 months to build. Like, honestly, one of the dumbest but greatest ideas I think I've ever had. Like, it's really, like, it's so cool, dude. I'm gonna nerd the fuck out over this thing. But let's look at our little, got a little drawbridge here. We go in here. These interiors were also one of the last things I did. Fuck me, it's bright in here as well. This shader is just really bright with sea lanterns. What should we look at first in here? What do you reckon? Do you know what I want to focus on first, actually? Is this. Now, this is a little bit of lore. Or not lore, but a little bit of context as to why I did this. Originally, the idea was to have this floating island, but I wanted to have it solid sand on the bottom and then create a crater, and we're going to put like amethysts and crystals and gold and stuff in the crater to show where it had risen out of. But then I had the idea to build this stupid thing, and I put the framework for this down, and I built the bottom of the island around that. And then I started to build the island on the bottom, because I was like, let's build the island first. And as I was building that island down, I started to go, this is really close to the floor. And I think actually, if, well, you can see that's the solid layer. That's where the crater was gonna, the top of the crater was gonna be, was that level. If we go down to where the bottom of this is, We are way below that level. So it would have been in the ground still. And I was just going to dig it down a little bit more and make the crater. And then I had a great idea. Oh, why don't we just mine all of it away? And why don't we just make it glass on the bottom, black glass on the bottom? It looks like it's hovering over the abyss. And then we make these obsidian towers that circle around it. Great idea. It looks cool now. Was not fun doing it. When I tell you, that was not fun doing it. It was so boring. Because haste 2 has no effect really on endstone. So it was slow. And we had to mine a grand total of... We did 244,000 endstone. Not fun. And look, obsidian, 41,800, pretty much. I mean, there's some lore behind the obsidian towers. They are the power source that keeps the island floating. They basically are pillars of power. They're powered by these crying obsidian blocks. No, there is a bottom hick. This just looks so stupid. This looks so stupid down here. Like, this is actually stupid. I always say this when I go and look at this. I'm like, this is dumb. What the fuck did I? Why did I do this? Like, if you have to know a little bit of behind the scenes, when I was doing the Obsidian Towers, I was watching, I was rewatching the Markiplier Five Nights at Freddy's series all the way through from game 1 to whatever how many fucking games there are now. But I watched all of them while I was doing this because that's how time consuming it was. And if you want some further context, you might think, oh, what's under that block there? Is that where the, you know, the bit of bedrock on top of the obsidian tower is? No, that's where that is. That is where that is. So when we blew up the island, or before we blew up the island, I brought all of the obsidian towers down. I brought them all the way down to the ground, and that left a piece of bedrock flowing up in the sky. And that's when I had this idea to make little stars, which I think they're really cool, these amethyst stars. Because I don't think I've ever really done a tour in here. The video I showed off a few features, but not much. I mean, this is the Great Hall. And this is literally a 1-for-1 for Dragon's Reach. If you want to go play the game after this, or pull up the game while watching this video, you can walk through while this video is playing, and we'll be walking the same paths. Like, we really will. You walk through the Great Hall door. You got these braziers with like fire coming out of. Ignore the chickens. I'll explain later. And in the center here is actually where there's a fire pit. And this is where we built Dragon's Reach out from. We used this as our centerpiece and we expanded it out basically because I wanted to have the portal home in the middle of there as the fire pit. Otherwise, there wasn't like a really great way of incorporating it into the build. Like, for me, there's no natural place to put it. But here, it's, like, pretty natural when you think about it. Like, that looks pretty natural. Which was really cool that we managed to pull that off. Because that was the biggest challenge I found with building. This is the kitchen area. This is where I learned you can put pieces of food on campfires. I had no idea you could do that. I learned so much about Minecraft from playing this, like, building this thing. So much that I never knew. But yeah, this is actually the second time it's been built. Some of this is the second time it's been built because we had, I don't know what episode it was, but we had 2 ender dragons that had flown originally through the portals to the outer end islands when we originally fought them. And we went to those areas and they spawned back in and they flew fucking beeline for the island and completely obliterated this bit because they're trying to, you know, center around this part. So they completely destroyed the interior here and I had to rebuild that, which was very annoying. You can go check that video out here. Like it was absolutely insane. It was incredible. You can actually see it in the montage as well. There, I think I put a couple of clips in there and we find the ender dragon underneath the island. So stressful. The most stressful thing I've ever done. Find 2 fucking ender dragons under this thing I built was crazy. This is like what's his? I think his name's like Farangar or something. He's like the magician, not magician. magician. He's like the wizard he's like the wizard in the in the keep. Why did I call him a magician? But this is like his little area. He has like this is his little office, I suppose. I was going to try and see if I could get a map done on here of Skyrim. I didn't work that out. I think that's something I want to do in the future. I think I have to do some plugins for that, though, which I have no idea what I'm doing with that, to try and get a map of Skyrim under the water. I mean, that's all there really is for the Great Hall. We've got the throne in the middle here. This is where, what's his face? It's, Jarl Borgroff. So that's his throne. And then up here, it looks a little bit different from in the game. If you look in the game, actually, you know, I'm going to throw a picture up of it in the game here. It's a shitty little skull. I was like, do you know what? Let's up this level. Ender Dragon head. So yeah, this is an Ender Dragon. This is like this is an old school Ender Dragon head. This is they've de-evolutionized over the years, was kind of my thinking. This was like the king. Yeah, this head was not easy to make. Not at all. Do you know what? There's a creative world that I did when I was testing it out. And oh my god, some of the heads I created at first. I was trying to make it like a concrete blocky, like to make it pretty much like a replica of the head. And they were so shit. They were so unbelievable. Let me see if I can... Wait, hold on. Should I see if I can find them? I forgot how bad it was. I was just trying to make a 1-for-1, and I was like, this is shit. Like, look how bad some of these look, dude. Oh, man. I was like, this looks awful. I'm like, there's no way I'm putting this in the middle of that incredible build I've just made. So, yeah, I am. So, yeah, I was like, let's just make something that looks like a dinosaur. And then Ender Dragon color themes. And it worked. It looks cool. Basically, what this is a Wither Rose farm. You can do a little bit of a cheat. It is a... Oh my god, it's so dark in here. It is a little bit of a cheat. So what you can do, see where this obsidian is? You can actually put a... make a wither on there. It gets its head stuck in the bedrock here. And then you can kill it. It's a bit of a, you know, a scummy way to kill him. It shoves its head in there, and when it explodes, if I make their health low enough, it will kill them. And once a wither kills a mob, it drops a Wither Rose. So it basically gives us... It's basically a Wither Rose farm. There's nothing really in here. There's a little bit of a pit at the bottom. I was going to put something at the bottom there, but I just never thought of anything to put down there. So what this area at the back is a dragon catching area. In Skyrim, if you guys have played it, there is a quest relatively towards the end of the main quest in the game that you have to catch a dragon, because this is what I think this keep was built for, was to catch dragons, and there's this mechanism which you can use to trap them, to trap their body. And I just thought, we've built a massive head at the front, why don't we build a massive body at the back? So that's where this skeleton came from, and this idea came from. Yeah, it's pretty much a whole scale skeleton of an ender dragon, which proves they have black bones. Don't know why I decided to do that, but I did instead of white bones. I don't know. There was no real decision behind it. I just thought, let's just make it black. I think to make it a little bit different from it just being, you know, a white skeleton, make it stand out a little bit more. You see, it would like trap their neck. So his head would have been on here, and then they cut it off and they shoved it out on their mantelpiece. Because that's the kind of people they are. Oh, actually, do you know what? I remember another piece of lore. The hand. Basically, I built the front bit first before we didn't do the stone bit. We just done the front, and I was like, this island's going to be fucking huge. I was like, I can't build an island all the way out to the back here, otherwise I'm going to need to move this all the way out, and I can't be bothered to do that. So I just had an idea, why don't we put a support structure in? And that's where the great fence hand came from. And it just looked like a big hand holding it up. So it looks really crappy. But I think that's the beauty of it, is it does look shitty. It looks like it was put up in a panic and a rush because they were worried about it falling down. let's go. So this is... I actually don't even know what this is. Like, in the game, I can't even remember. I'm pretty sure this is accurate to what it's like. It's just like an area at the top of the build. I don't really know what it's for. I think it's just some housing. No, this is like where the Jarl lives and his family and stuff, if I remember correctly. I think that's a moose in the game. I think that was a moose I needed to make, and I just did that. Now we can get to what that stupid, annoying noise is out here, which is our Enderman farm. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's like a big platform out the top, and that platform spawns these boys in. They fall down, they take damage, then all I have to do is... That's all I have to do. And then in here I have an enchanting room. Pretty much got everything I need. I keep all my books in here. Plenty of lapis. Got books for everything. I used to have one. I had a fortune, a mending, and an unbreaking, but I think I've used all those up. I actually need to restock them. I got like a silk touch one here. I've got all this spare armor that I just found stuff and I just hoard it and keep it. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this stuff. Like, this stuff's useful, having more pickaxes and shovels, but like, swords? Why have I got a wooden sword? Explain that one. I don't even know why that's there. And you come out here and that brings you up to the top here. For the most part, that's the tour of this build. Like, there's nothing really more to it. Like, you can see the platform up there. It genuinely is like top 3 things I'm proud of me for, which is kind of depressing when you think about it, because it's a fucking video game and it's a bunch of pixels. But at the same time, it's pretty cool. I mean, I do just want to say a big thank you to, to everyone who's watched a video, whether you've liked, whether you subscribed, whether you've just watched it for 5 minutes. Thank you so much. I do really appreciate it. I can't wait to continue doing more cool shit in this world, and hopefully I want to hit at least 5 years. We're not that far away now, so we should be all right. When I started loading up this world, when I first created it, I didn't ever think I would create something like this. I honestly thought I might get a few weeks, then die again, and then start another one, and then die again, and die again. But I haven't. I've created this dope thing, which is absolutely insane. And to think, when I first had this idea, I was starting my 2nd year of university. Since then, I have graduated university. I've had my first job. I'm a few months into a newer job, which is more in line with what I studied. And, I'm on developing my career. I'm looking at buying a house, which is kind of like, that's proper adult shit, which I am not prepared for, but I'm doing it. It's kind of crazy how this has been the only constant thing that's never changed, is playing this world. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for supporting me over the last few years. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like, subscribe. If you're new around here, it's free. And just to round it up here, I finished this build in July. I have about 250 hours of footage of my next project, which is already well underway in the Nether Realm. And I can't wait to, throughout this year, be starting to bring you videos of that, because what I am doing there is bigger than this. Think this, but 4 times. Yeah. We're building some wacky shit in the Nether. I can't wait to show you guys, but thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for your support over the years, and I will catch you boys later.